This your boy John, a Liquidator, coming back with another video. So it looked like Caitlin Clark is being blamed for the epic fail for the WNBA. Now, it's no secret that the WNBA has hostile players, bro. We all witnessed it during the 2000s.
The WNBA is staring down a full-blown crisis. CBA negotiations are frozen. Free agency is stalled, and the 2026 season is suddenly in real jeopardy. Yet somehow, in one of the most baffling twists imaginable, Caitlin Clark is being dragged into the blame game. Yes, that Caitlin Clark, the player who helped drive a $2 billion media rights deal, the rookie who tripled attendance, shattered viewership records, and pulled the league into the national spotlight like never before, now she's being framed, quietly, but deliberately, as a problem that's not just wrong. It's absurd.
Now, the players had a chance to go on a strike right before Christmas. We didn't see the strike come, but I'm here to tell you they can still go on strike because the committee could enforce a strike, or the owners could enforce a work stoppage. Now, word on the street is that the owners is not looking to do that. They telling teams and coaches to move forward with free agency negotiations,
Here's where things actually stand. The Players Association had the option to walk out before Christmas. They didn't. But the threat of a strike hasn't gone away. At the same time, ownership still holds the nuclear option, shutting everything down. And according to multiple league sources, owners are already signaling who's really in control. Teams have been instructed to proceed with free agency talks anyway. That move speaks volumes. While players believe they're holding leverage, owners are pushing the league forward with or without them. Which makes the idea of blaming Caitlin Clark for this mess not just unfair, but spectacularly short-sighted. Let's be clear about one thing. Clark didn't create this chaos. She created revenue. In a single season, she brought more money, attention, and relevance to the WNBA than some franchises had seen in decades. She attracted casual fans, national sponsors, and mainstream media to a league that had struggled for 27 years to break through, and now, because negotiations are messy and expectations aren't aligning, she, and her fan base, are being targeted. That's not accountability. That's scapegoating.
Watching the damn videos. That is the current state of the WNBA. Now, for my channel here, it ain't looking good, but I'm gonna keep on keeping on. Now, with that being said, we do got some updates on free agency. This article was released a few hours ago, and it stated WNBA telling teams they could send free agent offers amid CBA.
Behind the scenes, here's what's really happening. Late Friday night, just before midnight, the WNBA triggered a status quo obligation. It's a labor law mechanism that allows the league to issue qualifying offers even without a signed CBA. Teams were given the green light to operate under the terms of the expired agreement. That in plain English, the league is saying, we're moving forward. You can participate, or you can watch.
Adam Silver don't give a about none of the players. The owners don't either. They don't care about what y'all talking about. We gonna get a deal done. See, I believe there's a clause some way or somewhere in there to where the owners could override the players. That's what I'm thinking. If they're telling them they can move forward with free agency, that means to tell me we're probably going to get it.
Under U.S. labor law, the WNBA must maintain the previous CBA structure while negotiations are stalled. That means qualifying offers can be made. Core designations, essentially franchise tags, can still be used. The January 20th deadline forced teams to act under 2025 rules. No new salary cap. No updated revenue sharing. Everything frozen, and unsurprisingly, players aren't signing. Why would they? Agreeing to contracts without knowing the new financial framework would be a massive gamble. So now the league is stuck in limbo, offers on the table, no one picking them up.
Know the ins and outs of the clauses in these CBA negotiations, but it looked like they finna veto the players. They don't give a damn. It's either like you play ball or you're not play ball. We just gonna find somebody else to take your spot. It says the league has called every team to tell them they can send offers to free agents during this status quo period. Sources still front office sport, but players are unlikely to sign anything that's in limbo, which we already knew that because the money is involved in these CBA negotiations. Now, it stated when the clock strikes midnight on Friday night, which we already passed that. Now, it said under U.S. labor law, the WNBA has a status quo obligation to allow the sending of qualifying offers. under.
The timing couldn't be worse that a massive wave of players is approaching unrestricted free agency, including Kelsey Mitchell, Indiana's all-time leader in three-pointers and a breakout star alongside Caitlin Clark last season. Mitchell is just one of many players whose contracts were structured to expire ahead of 2026, anticipating a CBA opt-out and betting on the league's growth. Now that bet could backfire. At the same time, many of the league's top players are competing in Unrivaled, the 3-on-3 league entering its second season. Early reports suggest the ratings are underwhelming, undercutting a major bargaining point for players, the idea that they can independently generate comparable revenue outside the WNBA. If a condensed, star-heavy league can't pull strong numbers, it weakens the argument for a dramatically larger revenue split.
Legally authorized period of delay could be agreed to by the union and the league, resulting in the complete pause of all free agency activity until a new CBA is rectified. Now, as of Friday night, just before midnight, multiple league sources told them with the ultimate faith, which, you know, they ain't got no deal. Now, in a statement, the union said that the league and the owners have remained committed to undervalued player contribution, which we went over that last video. If you guys did not see that, goes on to say, under the Aspire CBA qualifying offers, including core destinations, which grants teams exclusive negotiation rights to a player under the tag, could be sent out no later than January 20th. However, these offers will all be subjected to the terms of previous CBA. Now, without a real salary cap, no one is...
And here's the uncomfortable reality no one wants to say out loud. There's a widening gap between what players believe they're worth and what the market can actually sustain. Yes, the WNBA landed a $2 billion media deal. It sounds massive, but spread across 12 teams, over multiple years, with operating costs, travel, facilities, and franchises still losing money, it's not the windfall many imagined. Owners are looking at balance sheets and saying, we're not there yet. Players are looking at NBA contracts and saying, we deserve our share. And right in the middle of that tug-of-war stands Caitlin Clark. The very reason that deal exists in the first place, networks didn't write billion-dollar checks out of charity. They followed eyeballs. They followed Clark. And by extension, they followed the league.
Bro, it's just not looking good. And for them to be blaming Caitlin Clark, like I stated, is beyond me. I want to know what the hell is going to happen with free agency. That's the only thing I'm really caring about right now, because that's the only story that really matters. I believe there's some type of...
Take Kelsey Mitchell as an example. She was a solid, consistent player for 7 seasons on a struggling Indiana franchise. Then Clark arrived. Suddenly, Indiana became must-watch television. Sellouts. National broadcasts. Playoff relevance. Commissioner's Cup opportunities. Mitchell's talent always deserved recognition, but Clark's presence amplified it. Her visibility skyrocketed. Her value increased. And now she's positioned to capitalize on free agency, if free agency exists. If the season happens. If the CBA gets resolved. That's a lot of ifs for players entering their prime earning years.
I gotta keep putting forth my best effort every time I step in.
And how we need to be to make a playoff run.
It's Clark splashing home a three.
I mean, anytime you get to be a part of the first WNBA team in Indiana, and the first WNBA championship for the Fever, and now an opportunity for the first Commissioner's Cup.
Boston is wide open, and splashes by Mitchell. Hangs, plays it in, and a foul. Atkins defending, puts the pass back to Howard, launches a three. Oh, the connection to Howard. Splashes the triple. Cunningham off the drive, gets to the rim.
And this is where the cognitive dissonance becomes impossible to ignore. Some players are now blaming Caitlin Clark for CBA complications, while simultaneously negotiating for contracts justified by the revenue she generated. That contradiction is staggering. Worse, a narrative is spreading online, and creeping into mainstream media, that Clark might somehow be responsible for the league's instability. One viral post even suggested she could indirectly cause the WNBA's collapse. It sounds extreme, but there's a kernel of truth buried inside it. Before Clark, the WNBA existed in a comfortable niche. Modest attention, manageable expectations, minimal scrutiny. Then she arrived, and suddenly everyone was watching. Standards rose. Mistakes were magnified. Unprofessional behavior was exposed, and not everyone was ready for that level of accountability. the way Clark was treated during the 2024 season will be studied for decades. A generational talent arrived, bringing unprecedented attention, and instead of being embraced, she was targeted. Physically, narratively, culturally, the blindside hit. The defended eye poke. The constant reframing of her popularity as something other than talent. And now, those same voices want a bigger slice of the pie she baked, while blaming her for the kitchen being on fire. It's like burning your own house down and complaining about the smoke. Here's the hard truth the league refuses to confront. Caitlin Clark does not need the WNBA nearly as much as the WNBA needs her. She could walk away tomorrow. Endorsements alone would dwarf her salary. Broadcasting, coaching, media, she'd be fine. The league, however, would lose casual fans overnight. Ratings would drop. Sponsors would hesitate. Media contracts would lose value, push her too far, make the environment toxic enough, and she may decide it's not worth it, and then what? The WNBA had lightning in a bottle in 2024, a chance to build something lasting around a transcendent star. Instead of protecting that asset, the league allowed jealousy, resentment, and insecurity to fester. Now the consequences are unfolding in real time. CBA talks are stalled, free agency is frozen, the 2026 season is at risk, and through it all, Caitlin Clark is just trying to play basketball. She's not negotiating, she's not issuing threats, she's simply existing, yet somehow, she's become the scapegoat for everyone else's dysfunction. So here's the real question, was it worth it? The jealousy, the hostility, the targeting, because if the season gets cancelled, the WNBA won't have sabotaged Caitlin Clark, they'll have sabotaged themselves. What do you think happens if the season is cancelled? Does Caitlin Clark come back, or does she decide the WNBA isn't worth the toxicity? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to follow this story as it unfolds, hit subscribe, because this saga is far from over.